Hey there crew, it's Mark from Mark Your Pages, and as you saw in the title of this video, today I'm going to be sharing just a bunch of life updates with you. It's only the beginning of this year, and I already have a number of things that are already happening. I'm really bad at keeping secrets and not telling you everything because I'm so used to just being here's all the things, but I'm really excited about this year. We're going to be talking about Go Wild today because that's kind of the biggest thing really happening for me right now. There's some other cool things too, but that's a really big thing that we want to talk about today. Also want to talk about bringing back the Different Doodles challenge. So me and my friend Nicole, Plans That Blossom, we used to do a really cool doodle challenge and we did every single month. And then we had to put it on a hiatus for a little bit, but we were really excited to be bringing that back. And I also want to share some updates about the Hobbyist Hangout Podcast, which is the podcast that I had been trying to do for the past few years, and some changes that are going to be happening there. And then we'll mix in some other fun stuff too. So let's just first start with Go Wild, because this whole thing is kind of insane to me personally, because when they were in DC last year, I kind of snuck in, crashed the party a little bit because so many of my Instagram, internet friends were there, and I was like, you are literally 30 minutes away from where I am. I have to come and see you. And I did. I get to hang out with the Arch and Olive crew, and I got to hang out with Jess from Jashy Curran, and all these people that I do stuff with and talk with and hang out with online. Meeting them in person has been amazing. And as a part of that, I also saw my friends over at Zebra Pens. I've been building a relationship with them over the past year, 2 years. I feel like it's been a lot in the past year. It's been really amazing more than anything. But just doing different reels with them and, reviewing their products and using their products and just getting to know them also. I think one of the big misperceptions about working with brands is that it's just purely a transactional relationship. And for me, I never look at it as that. I mean, yes, it's always nice if a brand is hey, we'd like to pay you to do this thing. But I love building the relationships more than anything. And I think Zebra's a really good example of that, of a brand that's everyone knows about. I feel like everyone knows about them or uses their products. But that, usually it's oh, you do this thing and you never hear from brands again. But I've had an ongoing and a growing relationship with them. I found that team to be just purely amazing to work with. They're so open to different ideas and trying and understanding how can people use these pens and these mild liners and these other pieces, and how can we continue to innovate and bring new things to the table. That's what I love about brands. That's what I love about them. That's what I love about working with Archer and Olive as another one, and some of the others that I'm working with too. It's just been so fun. Sorry, total side rant there, but Zebra is the reason I'm going to Go Wild, because they asked me to be the host and also do a workshop for The Crop. So The Crop is something that Go Wild does as a conference. It's a Friday night deal. It's just all kinds of fun. Every single person that goes to Go Wild can go to this. So you're not switching rooms or anything else. We'll talk about what I do and don't know about Go Wild in just a second. But this is very cool because everyone can come to it. So they asked me to host it, which I'm very excited about. I have a background in radio and I don't mind public speaking or anything like that. So excited for that. I love to have fun. And then on top of that, they also asked me to host a workshop. And so I'm coming up with a cool idea. How can we integrate both the products from Zebra, since they're hosting this whole thing and they're sponsoring me as well, but I'm trying to think of a good ideas for us to be able to have a good time and figure out cool ways that we can be using our planners in different ways. So I have to work out some really fun ideas around that. I'm really pumped about it. So Go Wild as a whole, I guess I could backtrack on this a little bit, is happening this year in Dallas, Texas. It's happening between April 14th and the 21st. So it's a extended weekend of just planner crazy fun. You can follow more about what they're doing online. That's at least how I've been following for years, over at Wild for Planners. So if you follow them there, you'll see all these updates. They do a conference every year. Last year it was in Washington, D.C. This year it's in Texas. And I was asked to do this, and then I was waiting for them to announce it over time. And while I've been waiting, I saw the other people that are going to be there this year. And I started to slowly freak out a little bit. So this year, some of the big names, at least ones that I was excited about, is Martha Stewart is going to be there as a speaker this year. Amanda Rachel Lee is going to be there. She's going to be doing like a doodle workshop, which is pretty incredible. I mean, Amanda has been around on YouTube for a really long time. She's made such a name for herself, both in the planning space, but just also like as herself. And I've never met her. I've been, watching her videos for years, as all of us probably have been, but excited to potentially get to meet her. I feel like I get to meet these people, right? Like it should happen. Also, Bonnie from Archer and Olive is going to be there. She was there last year. She'll be there again this year. It's always great to see and talk to her. I just have such fond memories of like early on with Archer and Olive and just like, understanding like how this came about and how she continues to innovate and work with really amazing creative people to do good things. So she'll be there. I'm sure the rest of the Archer and Olive crew will be there too, which I'm always excited to meet whenever we get to meet in person. Just, it's one of those things where like you've worked with people for years and then you've never actually physically met them and then you meet them in person, or you meet other people that you're like, oh, I've talked with you online forever. And you're like, oh my gosh, you're hilarious in person as you are online. Like it's just super fun. And I love that about it. Some other names that are going to be there too. I haven't met this crew yet, but the Planner and Wine podcast, they will be there as a part of this. Heather Kell, so Kell of a Plan, is a planner on Instagram that I've been following for years. Since like I first started, I remember her stuff coming up. We've never met in person. We've chatted, just, interactions and engagement on Instagram throughout the years. She will be there. And then Jerica Kelly is going to be there as well. And Jerica and I have never met, but we've chatted a lot. She was on the Archer and Olive Ambassador team at one point. I'm on it now. We have a lot of like kinship there, but she is an amazing individual. I've been loving watching what she does with washi tape, and just overall for the community has been absolutely amazing. She's just such a fun personality. So there's like a list of other people. Like I said, you can follow all of their stuff over on Wild for Planners. Their Instagram page is where I've been following and seeing all of these updates. You'll see my face up there too as a part of those announcements. So overall excited. I don't know what to expect from Go Wild. I've never been, right? I kind of crashed the party and stopped to say hello and met a few people and had lunch with people, but never went to any of these sessions. What I know about it so far essentially is it is just it's a huge planner conference, first and foremost. Some of the things I've heard about this that I know that I have to be prepared for are that different brands and companies sponsor the tables. So when you go into this main room, you go and you pick a seat with a brand or product that you're interested in. You get all of this free product. Every day there's new tables, there's new stuff, and you pick and you go, and it's wild. I feel that's the only word that I can use. It's wild. I remember last year they have a pajama party, which I don't know what the hell I'm gonna wear for a pajama party. I don't know. Someone told me I should wear one of those animal onesies. Maybe I'll just do that and just have some fun. But people just have so much fun. They have such great things to say about Go Wild, and so I'm really excited to be able to go. So that's all of the stuff there. Go Wild is going to be so much fun. I'll definitely be doing videos, plenty of reels. You know me. I'll be on Instagram probably the whole time and just having a good time, and I can't wait for it. All right. So next topic of discussion is the Different Doodles monthly challenge. So I don't know that I've actually talked about this in any YouTube videos, but I want to do it more as a part of this because we're trying to switch it up. So the Different Doodles challenge is something that Nicole, Plans at Blossom, if you don't follow her on Instagram, I feel like everyone has or should. We used to do this challenge. So a number of years ago, I don't even know the math. I didn't even look it up. I should have. We both were doing a doodle challenge together. I think it was around October or so. It was a Halloween-ish type one, or maybe it was a 90s challenge. Maybe that's what it was. It was a 90s challenge that we were doing together. And we kind of had a kinship about it. She reached out to me, and I will always remember this moment, and I tell her about this all the time, and she's like, Mark, be quiet. I was in Target, and she messaged me on Instagram, was like, hey, Mark, I'm a big fan of your stuff. And she had followed me, and she had liked all my stuff. She has over 100,000 followers. And again, bullet journal royalty, doodle royalty, right, is reaching out to me and was like, you seem like a person that would be down for this. I'd love to do a doodle challenge with you, but let's make it a little bit different. Would you be open to this? And as a young bullet journalist and person on Instagram, when someone like that reaches out to you, You don't say no. You say yes no matter what. So I was like, yes, absolutely. And we did the doodle challenge, I want to say, for like 2 years. It's a learning experience, doing any type of Instagram challenge where you're trying to get community involvement and participation. It can be hard, right? It's not just about putting something out and then being like, well, that's it. You want to be engaging with the community. You want to share people's work. You want to make people feel included. You want to inspire them. And we were doing that and doing that and doing that. And then life, full-time jobs, all this different stuff kind of happened. And we both kind of like fell out of it a little bit. I think we both had a moment where we were like, okay, are we planning for next month? Do you still want to do this? And, we were both trying to be positive about it. And then I think we just made a decision and said, okay, because of just life happening right now, let's go ahead and just put it on pause. And so it's been on pause for a little bit of time. And then she and I were just talking the other day and it had popped up on my time hop. And I was like, remember all the fun we had doing this? Like, if you ever want to do this again, it would be so cool. And then like a few days later, she was like, Mark, let's do it. Like, we haven't done this in a while. She's starting to post more and get more involved in Instagram after some time off that she needed for herself. And I'm really excited about it. So we're going to be kicking back up the Different Doodles challenge, and we're starting in February, and we're starting very easy. And I guess what I'll preface about this, if you've never done our challenge before, this is going to be the most low stress, most fun doodle challenge. And so the whole goal of Different Doodles is just to try to get you to engage with different parts of your brain and creativity and trying things that are a little outside of your comfort zone. And so every month we put together a prompt list of however many days of the month that there are. And you can take on this challenge daily if you want to. So as a part of your schedule or your journaling habit, you sit down, you're like, okay, the first day of February is polka dots. So we're going to be doing that. So we're doing it's called pattern hearts is what we're calling the first one. And each day you're doing a different pattern. So for myself, I couldn't help myself. I made myself a little heart stamp out of something here. And then each day what I'm going to do is start filling it in. So I already did today, which is the first, which is polka dots. And every single day I'll be filling this in. And for me, and you don't have to do it this way, I actually have a printable for you down in the descriptions if you want. If you're like, I don't know what I'm doing here, Mark, give me something to work with. But what I love about this is that I get to explore this however I want. I'll follow the prompts on the pattern that we're doing each day, but I'm trying something different here. First of all, I made my own stamp. Well, it's not really outside of my normal, but I haven't done this as much as I had been previously. I'm also going to use different types of fountain pen ink, right? I have all this fountain pen ink behind me and I don't use it as much as I want to. So let's start using more of that for it. And then I'm going to be using my Kakamori brass dip pen to do this, right? So it's like, here's different ways that I can approach this. But for you, if you want to do this in pen, if you want to do this in paint, in markers, whatever you want to use, you do it the way that you want to. Don't want to put the pattern inside of a heart? That's not your aesthetic. Do it inside of a square. Like, you can do whatever you want with it. The whole idea is that you're having fun and you're doing something different. So I will go ahead and I'll share the prompt list with you down below. I'll also share a free printable for you down below if you're interested, and would just love to have you participate. And if you're catching this video after the first and you're just like, well, we're 10 days in, like I can't do this. You absolutely can. You can catch up. There's nothing wrong with it at all. There's some people that do it week by week. There's some people who do it all in one day. Like, the idea is just to have fun with it. So really excited to be bringing that back and doing that. Now, whenever new things come into your life, sometimes other things have to kind of take a back seat. So this isn't like a sad moment, but this is one of those things where one door shuts, another opens. So the Hobbyist Hangout Podcast is a podcast that I have been doing for the past 2 years. I have not been consistent about it. The idea started as something different and morphed into something else. I love talking, clearly. I love talking about things that I'm passionate about and that I really like. But I started to really just kind of fall out of love with it towards the end of last year. I was not doing enough episodes. I just wasn't inspired. And I think a really big part of that is that I was doing it alone. And while I had a guest, Jess from Jessie Curran was on there, right? I loved doing that. It was so fun. But getting guests on a podcast is very hard. just because everyone's trying to work around their own schedule. I have a full-time job on top of all of the other bullet journal hobby stuff that I do, right? This YouTube is not my full-time job. It is a hobby. I love doing it. I love being a part of this, but I have to do that over lunch, or I have to do it after work or on the weekends. I also have a family, and we also have stuff going on too. And just, it was really, really hard to try to like book a guest, find a time that worked for everyone, and make that happen. I love recording, I love editing, I love all of that part, but just the administrative part of it was really difficult to do alone. So I've just decided that, I'm bringing other things into my life, so there has to put other things on. So what I'm saying is that the Hobbyist Hangout Podcast is just going to be on like an indefinite pause for right now. It may come back in the future, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of like put that on the back burner for now. The good news is that I do have a different idea that I'm working with in a similar fashion, but I'm taking it easy this time. When I started the Hobbyist Hangout Podcast, I literally started that podcast in a day and a half, 2 days total, from the time that I was like, ooh, I should do this, to me having a logo and having my first episode recorded and ready to go. Like, I did that because I was very excited about starting it. But then, as always, with everything in my life, you're like, okay, but you have to continue to do that, Mark. You can't just like put it all in at first and then not keep up with it. So I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. This is the one thing that I can't exactly tell you about just yet, because I want to make sure that it's going to work out well, that I'm actually planning this much better than I had before and just taking my time with it. So of course, once that comes out, I will let you know about it. I'm ridiculously excited about this new thing. So I can't wait to tell you more about that. I'll just stop there because I'll just keep saying, can't wait to tell you more about that. So the next thing after that is that I'm excited to be bringing more of my work life-ish into my YouTube channel. So just recently I recorded a video about capacity planning. This is something that I use in my day-to-day every single week. I make sure that I have this for my team, I have this for myself, and that video as a whole has gotten a lot of really good attention, and I've gotten a lot of really good feedback from people who have watched that, whether it be on YouTube itself, whether that be on other social media channels. As I've been talking about it, there's been a lot of interest, and I've been thinking for a long time, like, how can I bring more of myself into this YouTube channel? It's not just about my bullet journal and like, cool designs. That will still be here. I'll still be doing notebook and product reviews and things like that too, but I want to bring more of like how I'm actually using it into this channel. And so I actually have a Notion list of over 100 different ideas, both directly related to like bullet journal and creativity and other things like that too. But I've just been kind of a little nervous about bringing that in because, one, I don't want to kind of cross streams too much about my full-time job and like my hobby deal. So there's only so much I can kind of share with that. I also want to make sure I'm keeping that part of my life like somewhat safe, right? Because that is my full-time job and I love that. And I don't want to mess that up for like a YouTube idea or clicks. I really want to just focus on like the methods and the techniques and things that I use there, and then sharing that more with you as well. So I've kind of have this new bit of like excitement around it because I saw that people responded well to that. And I'm like, oh, cool. People actually like this part of this. Let me bring more of that in. So more of like this work productivity, different ways that you can use your journal for those things. And I'm excited to bring that back as well. The other really exciting thing that I wanted to share is that I am continuing my path along with the Archer and Olive ambassador team. So I've been on the ambassador team. It was called the design team a while back. I took a break from that, kind of explored other things and trying things, and was like, oh, they're accepting new applicants. And I applied and I got onto the ambassador team, and I love it so much. Like, being back working with Archer and Olive in that capacity is just so much fun. I've been trying to work with the other ambassadors more and do like collabs and stuff like that. I had one of my most viral Instagram reels go viral. Can I just tell you, I was blown away. Instagram's growth over the past like 2 months has been wild, like insane. One of them was from a video that I put out. Was my own video. It was just kind of a viral sound that I just talked about, like my obsession with pens and notebooks and all of that. That hit 1 million views on Instagram, which was crazy to me. I've never had a video hit that many views. And then I did a collaboration one with the ambassadors. Some of the ambassadors, it was called We're Notebook People. And we talked about like all the traits of notebook people. And it did incredibly well, over 1 million views as well on that one, and growing. Like both of those videos are growing so much. And so I just want to do more of that. I just want to have more fun with them. So we've been talking about some different ideas and things that we're going to do. That content is potentially showing up in different spots. So that's why I wanted to bring it up as like a note on this video, is that I will be posting some of that content, but also we're creating content for Archer and Olive as well. So recently in the Crew Notes newsletter that I have, if you're not a part of that, sign up link. There's a lot of details down in the descriptions today for like all the things that we're talking about. But if you sign up for that, I've been sharing a lot of the videos and the blog content that I've been doing for Archer and Olive in those as well. And this is why I'm doing that, is because I'm taking a lot of my really good ideas I probably should have saved for this channel, and I'm giving them the ideas. A lot of the reasons revolve around, as a part of the ambassador team, you do get paid to create blog posts and content for them, right? So like a lot of my good ideas, things that I think people are going to like, I've lent over to Archer and Olive's blog content and videos and stuff like that. So I still want to make sure I'm getting that to you though, because if you don't follow Archer and Olive because you're maybe not a fan of them or you don't like all of the content, I still want you to be able to get the content that I'm putting out, whether it's coming directly from me or through someone else. So for instance, we did something with second order thinking recently, which is a really great method and thought process, especially if you're an impulsive person like me. For instance, we talked about that podcast I created and didn't follow up on. That was just an impulse. If I did second order thinking, I probably would have said, I'm starting a podcast. Mark, you need to be prepared and make sure that you're being consistent about it. That means you actually have to schedule it and make sure that you are making time for all of the things that go into it so you don't fail. And I probably would have been in a better spot. But anyway, I'm half kidding about that, but not really. I'm going to be sharing more of that, both through the community tab here on YouTube, as well as through the newsletter and my other socials too. I just decided it's still my content. I'm still putting it out there. It's still my ideas. It's still my voice. It's still my face. I want to make sure people are getting this. So I'm just throwing that out there. If you see stuff where you're like, Mark, why are you sharing a lot of Archer and Olive blog content? It's because it's content that I'm creating for them, and I want you to still get it. So make sure if you don't look inside the community tab here on YouTube, I'll be posting stuff there. If you don't follow me on Instagram, mark your pages over there. I'll be sharing it there, and also that newsletter too. I just want to make sure it's out there. I can't publish it myself or put it out there myself because it's for them. So I can't really put it on my website as a blog post, but I want to redirect you there where I can. And so easy ways to do that are through, posts and links and newsletters. So that's that. The last thing I can only say that I'm excited about this, I know you're probably like, Mark, why are you even saying this? There's just been a really cool opportunity that's been brought to me. All of this happening in the month of January, by the way. This all has happened so quickly, from January 1st to the end of January, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 things, 5 that have been pushed to my plate, and some of them I've shared and some of them I can't share with you just yet. And I'm like, Mark, this is your year. This is your thing. The last thing is just unbelievable potential opportunity. I don't want to speak too much on it just because, things can change, right? They could be like, Mark, actually, we're not interested in doing this with you. So, please don't get people excited about something that's not actually happening yet. I got to watch myself on this because I get easily excited. But there is just a lot of good stuff that I'm excited for this year. Everything we talked about in this video, I'm just passionate about. Like I mentioned, this isn't my full-time job, but this is my full-time hobby job. And I love doing this. I love interacting with this community. I love working with different brands. I love sharing and talking about stationery and pens and notebooks and stamps and all this fun stuff. So this opportunity that's coming my way would allow me to do all of those things. And it's just a very cool and validating thing as someone who's been a creator here on YouTube and Instagram for, 5, 6, 7 years. I've been trying to do this, to be like, damn, Mark, when you were just that little baby account and you were like, I want to be this thing and do these things, that's all happening now. And I'm really excited about it. And I have a lot of that thanks to to thank this community about, because you all are the ones that keep me motivated to keep doing this. Like, yes, I'm already using my bullet journal for work. That would never change. But the amount of engagement and excitement we have within this planner and fountain pen community and ink and like all the other fun stuff we do, like that keeps me excited and motivated. So when these opportunities come my way, or I think about these crazy things and I ask my friends about them and they're into it, it just makes me even more excited to put this stuff out. So thank you for continuing to support this channel, not even monetarily or just watching, commenting. Like, that's a big thing. I love talking with you all in the comments. And that sounds stupid, but I respond to every single comment on every single video because that's how much I love this community. But what I've shared with you so far, hopefully has kind of fulfilled you a little bit. And I thank you for hanging out today while I've just been really talking, not really showing a whole lot of stuff, because this really was just a chat video. You know, it's not really a vlog when you're just standing still, right? I don't think it is, but just excited as a whole to continue to share with you. There's some videos that I've been talking about doing for a while that I want to get in here. One is the studio tour, right? We have been slowly making updates to everything. Every single time I talk about doing a studio tour, I change something and I'm like, well, what's the point of doing this video if it's just going to change again? But like, I'm doing that. It's on the calendar. I'm scheduling that. We're making it happen. And I'm excited to kind of share what I've been doing just around this space as a whole. You all ask all the time for it, so I'm gonna share it with you because we've done some cool stuff. All right, so done talking. Thanks for watching, my friends. All the links for the things that I can share with you are down in the descriptions below. Really excited to continue it this year. We're only just begun and we're doing cool stuff. So I'll talk with you next time, friends. I'll see you.